Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekar welcoming you to another delightful special on our programming across the country. We're very delighted to have in the studio with us an extremely distinguished guest. He's an outstanding performer from the Indian subcontinent and now capturing the hearts of millions around the world. It's your favorite, Babul Supriyo.
ये फैसला जो दिल ने किया एक भीगी हसीना क्या कहना सुनने को बेकरार है
Babul, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, my pleasure.
They always say in any live show, the opening act either makes or breaks the show. You know, you've got to capture your audience, you know, with your the first impression. Tell me about that.
Well, I have always felt that a stage performance, a live performance is supposed to be live and spontaneous. Because in every part of the world, wherever I go, whether it is Australia, whether it is Japan, or whether it is America or Canada, I think everywhere the audience does react in a very different manner. So a joke which can be a joke in America might not be a laughable one in Japan maybe. So I somehow try to keep my antics on stage or my songs on stage or the song selection based on the reaction of the crowd. And the first song in any case is something which you would like to identify yourself with. Kaho Na Pyar Hai was one movie which actually gave me the limelight which I was waiting for. And I knew it would happen. I was patient enough to wait for it, and therefore it kind of, the audience identifies Babul Supriyo with Kaho Na Pyar Hai. That's my first milestone.
That's fantastic. Well, he sang this blockbuster song, by the way. This has been a platinum disc, a record holder in the Indian film industry. When somebody hears your voice, you know, the density in the voice, it's not just the volume, but it is the depth and the density. Now, is that something that, Babul, that you had to train, or did you develop a voice culture, or was it something that was inborn in you?
Well, I come from a musical family in West Bengal, or to say Calcutta, people would identify that more easily. I come from, my grandfather, Manikant N.C. Baral, was a prolific composer in yesteryears. So music was something which actually happened to me. I got it by, by birth. And it was a free gift from God, and it runs in my veins, it runs in my blood. And that's why, even for charitable purposes, I don't donate my blood. But having said that, I never had to face a situation in my life where I had to decide whether I wanted to be a singer or not. I was always a singer. In my school days in Don Bosco, I was twice the All India music champion. So it was more of recreation for me, playing football from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, sitting with my grandpa with his huge organ and singing with him for an hour, hour and a half. So that was always there for me. I always felt comfortable expressing myself with music. And you'll be surprised to know that I finished my educational qualification. I was working for Standard Chartered Bank in Calcutta, which is
I heard about
a lucrative job. And I left that and I just jumped into this bandwagon of strugglers in Bombay, trying to reach my audience with the gift of singing, as I said, which we all believe is a gift from God. So you have to work on your singing. But it just takes a 6-7 year period where you can actually, put your entire concentration on the mic you're singing in front of. So I had gone through that stage, and I'm very glad to hear from you that you feel you do get to recognize that I have that density in the voice. It's a nice
feeling. No, it's and tremendous on-air presence and talent on stage, because playback singing is different from performing live.
I really do emphasize on that. As I said, I was learning all these years. You still keep on learning, but I think, yes, I can sit down and listen to my own song nowadays with a little bit of satisfaction. I've been singing good for the last 6-7 months, and I hope that with the right kind of attitude, yes, I have maybe,
When you were at the peak of your career in the banking industry, a lot of people would have been very scared, to leave such a, solid profession when you're in a bank. It's, in India, it's a very prestigious job.
It is.
It's a lot of security, economic security. But you had the guts to quit that from Calcutta and move to Bombay. Tell me about what went through your mind. What was your aspiration when you went to Bombay? What did you really want to be at that time?
Well, I genuinely believe that life is not about what you are, it's more about what you want to be. And it's one life, one chance. I understand, I had put my parents, my friends, everyone under an immense feeling of trauma when I left that job and jumped into this thing. Everyone thought ki I have this, this ghost of becoming a star in my mind, and they thought that I am unnecessarily risking my life. But I exactly knew what I wanted to do. And I would like to believe that throughout my early days, my teenage, I never tried anything which I felt was impossible for me at any point of time. And it was basically, let's put it straight, I wanted to be a star. I knew that this is a gift which I've got from God in free. And I really wanted to test myself and see if I can go through that struggle and achieve and make my passion into my profession. I'm thankful to everyone who has at least given me a platform from where I can work and see if I can reach, close to my dreams, maybe in 15 years, 20 years.
That's wonderful. What was the first movie that sort of you got the break for the first time in the film industry in Bombay?
It's a very interesting thing. In fact, I should share that with my audience in Toronto. My first ever trip to a foreign country, my first break into filmdom was a show in Sky Dome in 1993 with Amitabh Bachchan sir. And that was only in 1993 when I was only 3 months old in Bombay, knowing no one, staying in a small balcony. And, I was a no one, absolute a noun. I was a noun then. I had worked to being a proper noun since then. And Kalyanji Anandji introduced me to Amitabh Bachchan, and they wanted to give a newcomer a chance to this particular show. And I made it. I surpassed others to make it into that show. That was my entry into filmdom.
You are very versatile. Not only do you have your own style you've developed as well, but the late, great Kishore Kumar, who ruled the hearts of millions of people, you sing his songs with a lot of passion. Tell me about your respect and your admiration for Kishore da.
Well, he is a legend, there really isn't any superlative that I can re-add or can add to his to describe his greatness. And he has established a particular school of singing. It's Kishore Kumar's school of singing. Kumar Sanu, Abhijit Da, Vinod Rathore, myself, Amit Kumar, we all belong to that school of singing. You could easily distinguish a Mohammad Rafi kind of a singer or a Kishore Kumar kind of a singer. And I've always looked upon Kishore Kumar as my idol since my childhood days. Because see, playback singing is all about sounding like a hero. And Kishore Kumar epitomized in that. Anytime he sang, whether he was crying in his song, whether he was in a sad mood, he was dancing, he always sounded like a hero. That's exactly what I wanted to be in life. That is exactly what I wanted to sound in life. And it was kind of a Dronacharya Ekalavya relationship. I have never met him. I've seen hundreds of his shows. I've never got a chance to meet him, but I've always tried to listen to him. I still listen to him every day in the car, and I try to find out how he played with different kind of songs, different genre of songs. And you were just generous in saying that I have developed my own style. I would be very frank in saying that I did go through a very long identity crisis, which any singer should legitimately go through before people actually thought, no, this is not a Kishore Kumar clone, this is not a Kumar Sanu, this is Babul Supriyo. So right now, yes, I'm very glad, I feel very happy when hearing a song on TV, a promo started playing on TV and people SMS me and call me saying, Babul, this is an excellent song. This is the day I was waiting for. And I just feel that, there's a train which travels towards my manzil or goal. I've just got a confirmed reservation in that. It's only time can say whether I can reach my manzil.
You spoke about Kishore Kumar. Give me a piece of one of Kishore Kumar's numbers that sort of inspired you on stage, for that matter. Just the opening, one of the numbers.
There's so many of his numbers, but one song which really helps me in daily life is that in filmdom, when as an entertainer, a lot of people criticize you negatively without having any positive aspect to it. It hurts you. And there is one song composed by R.D. Burman, written by Anand Bakshi Sahab, sung by Kishore Kumar, which actually gives you the courage to face negative criticism. I'll sing the song, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Sure, please.
कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे.
Do stay with us.
The gama-gums, like the way that we call it in classical music, that you are able to do that. Kishore Kumar sang those and you sing as well. Did it come to you because of your grandfather's classical training?
Of course, he had trained me extensively since my childhood. It was part of my daily routine to learn music. But yes, having come into the film industry and singing as a playback singer, you learn every day. Every song teaches you something. I have a fabulous guru whom Asha Bhosle ji introduced to me, Pandit Ramesh Jole. I make sure that doing riyaz with him is part of my weekly routine.
Right.
Once or twice, thrice a week,
right.
I sit down and it's like you can come to the world with an inborn talent, as they say,
right.
but of course you have to polish it. So I keep on polishing it, and I hope that whatever I'm trying to learn actually gets illuminated and comes in front of my audience, and they can understand that yes, Babul Supriyo is working his way into our hearts. Believe me, I personally have never heard that entire song even once probably, and after having sung that song, when Rajesh Roshan showed us the premiere of the film Kaho Na Pyar Hai, after seeing the film I actually ran to Rajesh Roshan. He will acknowledge that I told him, sir, I have sung this song almost a year and a half back. After seeing your film, I think I should sing it once more. I can do a better job. So he said, Babul, relax, don't worry, it's going to be a huge hit. So Rajesh Roshan, they were a great source of inspiration during Kaho Na Pyar Hai. And believe me, whenever I listen to that song, I always feel that I should have done a better job.
Tell me, when great music directors like Nadeem Shravan, Rakesh Roshan, Anu Malik, Jatin Lalit and others as well. Now, when they come to you and they've given you a composition, sometimes when you start practicing and singing, do you feel at times that you could even improve it a little bit better, and are they sort of very accommodating with you if you want to add a little extra, to the composition or have slightly your own version of it?
They are all very accommodating. They have their own, their own style of working, recording
right.
songs.
Right.
But I have a feeling that a playback song or a song in a film is more of a director, music director, producer, lyricist. It is their dream.
Okay.
My job as a singer is very cut out. It's their dream. I am given a brush to paint it, to give it a shape on a white canvas.
Right.
That's how I would like to put in what playback singing is to me. So it's a great feeling when they expect us, the singers, to give it a shape. At the same time, it is our duty rather, I'd be very honest about it, to make sure that my creators, the people who have actually created the song, the people who have conceived the song, are very happy and are smiling at the end of the song. So I have to keep a lot of things in mind, and as I have said, I have worked with all of these people for the last 5-6 years, and during this period I have just tried to gather confidence in their mind that yes, I am a good singer. If given a chance, probably I might do a good job. And as I said, for the last 1 year, yes, I am singing good songs in good films. I have had almost 10 releases, good releases in the last 6 months. Quite a few of those films didn't do in the box office, as we all know. The industry did go through a lull for the last year. But quite a few of those songs of mine did climb to the #1 spot, like Humne Tumko Dil Diya, Meri Tarah Tum Bhi Kabhi Pyar Karke Dekho Na, Kya Hi Pyar Hai, Chori Chori, Aate Aate, Dil Vil Pyar Where, in which we paid a tribute to R.D. Burman Sahab. All his songs remixed and re-recorded in our voices. Tina Sirf Mere Liye, Nadeem Shravan, Bahasu Bagna, huge film. Dil Ka Rishta. Nadeem Shravan, I must say, Nadeem bhai has been a real pillar of support for me. Right. Throughout the years, before you start getting important songs, good songs in big films, there is a period when you are actually knocking the door of the music directors, asking them to give you work. During that period between 94 and 97, 98, Nadeem bhai almost gave me a song in every film that he was doing. I sang almost 15 songs during that period for him. And those songs just gave me confidence. And singing those songs, he felt that yes, Babul probably would do well if I give him a huge film. He gave me Saat Rang Ke Sapne with ABCL, and the song Aati Hai To Chal Tu Mere Saath Mein with Alka Ji again was the first hit of my career. And I'll sing this song, Pari Pari. Pari Pari hai ek pari, aasmaan se aa giri.
This particular piece that you sang in Hangama, it's a beautiful piece, but when you did it live on stage, you were unbelievably spontaneous. You nicely deviated from there, went to 1942, A Love Story, where
Ek ladki ko dekha.
Beautiful there was. Just do the transition for us.
Pari pari hai ek pari, आसमां से आ गिरी, मुझे उससे प्यार हो गया, हाँ मुझे उससे प्यार हो गया, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा जैसे खिलता गुलाब, जैसे शायर का ख्वाब, जैसे उजली किरण, जैसे वन में हिरन, जैसे चांदनी रात, जैसे नरमी की बात, जैसे मंदिर में हो एक जलता दिया, ओ परी परी है एक परी, आसमां से आ गिरी, मुझे उससे प्यार हो गया, हाँ मुझे उससे प्यार हो गया. I wouldn't be selfish to say that I'm happy that my songs did well, because I would be very happy to be part of a successful film. Why? Because the producers who are actually putting in their money, who are actually giving a shape to the artist's dream, should be handsomely rewarded.
That's wonderful.
I feel that, being a banker and a management guy myself, I think that a person who is spending 100 rupees on our dreams should get 200 if not 300.
Wonderful. Well, talking of climbing the charts, you certainly did climb the charts on Chori Chori Chupke Chupke.
Yeah, that was one good song after.
Big hit.
रग रग में इस तरह तू समाने लगी, जैसे मुझे को मुझसे चुराने लगी,
दिल मेरा ले गई लुट के.
You know, Babul, you come from a very illustrious family. You know, Bengali language is such a sweet language.
It is.
And poetry in Bengali is, you know, extremely sophisticated as well.
That's right.
Your own linguistic skills, you know, combined with your education, did that really tremendously help you in terms of appreciating art and culture to a greater extent?
Yes, you know, my grandfather was a really very spiritual and a philosophical character, and he imparted, I would say, musical philosophy into me. It was not only learning how to sing, it was learning how to express yourself. Any birthday in our family, any birth, any death, any marriage was always you know, made into a more heartfelt occasion with music, or we all of our family members singing into it. My father was an excellent singer himself. He didn't choose to get into, you know, this bandwagon of singers as a profession, but he was an excellent singer. My uncle, all my aunts, my mother, my sisters, my brothers, they were all excellent singers. So it was one way in which we expressed ourselves. And in Bengal, you go to any household, you'll find a harmonium and a tabla. Everyone learns music. Rabindranath Tagore, Nazrul, Shyama Sangeet, Bengali modern songs, they were all so rich. We had excellent singers, Hemant Mukherjee, Manna De, Manavendra Mukherjee. So, you know, for a Bengali to relate to music, or for a Bengali to actually sing well, is something that we all expected. And we have so many singers in Bombay who are Bengalis, like Kishore Kumar was a Bengali himself, Kumar Shanu, Abhijit Da, myself, Alka ji, Kavita Krishnamurthy, they are from Calcutta. So being a Calcuttan, it was easier for me to get inclined to music. And with my grandfather to top it all, he used to teach me, you know, English poems by Keats, by Shelley, by Wordsworth, and by Shakespeare. I used to read that. So doing that while reading Tagore, reading Chattopadhyay, Tagore of course had got a Nobel Prize for his Gitanjali. So it was easier for me to actually get into the musical philosophy, which I said. And though he was a kind of a devotional composer, he sang Bengali music, but he never discouraged me when I came to him, you know, probably humming a Kishore Kumar number in Hindi, or maybe a flamboyant romantic number, which was, I was an underaged guy to do that. But still he always said, okay, this is yodeling, okay, do it for me once. He always encouraged me. It was more, he always used to say, Babul, you'll remember one thing, that we always say that this guy is singing like a bird, but birds are only singing the tune. They are not gifted by God to say words while they are singing. Human beings are the only people, only ones who are privileged to say something in words when they are humming a tune. Right. So make sure you utilize that, and your singing should be so correct that when you are actually expressing yourself in a song, your mind, your concentration should be on the words, on how you are singing a particular word, and not whether gaane mein sur, whether you are right in tune, whether you're hitting the notes or not, because hitting the note should be spontaneous. So he really made me do this kind of riyaz, which actually you know, transformed me into maybe a raw talent, into someone who would be comfortable into singing and expressing himself.
Wow,
that's how it is.
It's fascinating. You just mentioned about yodeling, for instance, you know.
That's right.
Kishore Kumar was very famous for his yodeling. And I know you do an excellent job of one of Kishore's
I
numbers
just
where
tried
you
it.
just do the yodeling. Do a little bit of the yodeling sample for us.
This is from the song Ye Sham Mastani
Yeah,
Madhosh Ki Jaye.
fantastic.
It's a hard job, though a lot of people do it well. Kishore Kumar was the best in it, and you know, as I said, I have followed the Kishore Kumar school
Right.
of singing.
Right.
I try to do yodeling. At least, you know, even if I do 30% of what he did, it's still going to sound
I
good.
want to go into the romantic side of your life. You know, from what I understand, you know, you met your wife in Toronto.
That's right.
Right here in Canada. Tell us about. There was a very interesting romantic story.
It's a very funny story. It's really, it seems as if it's out of a film story. I toured, as I said, 93 with Bachchan Sahib in Sky Dome, and my wife's family, they were close to my mama who used to stay in Toronto that
Right.
time. And they suddenly, it was a big, you know, uproar in the Bengali community, or the knowing that, you know, Mr. Das's nephew was part of the Amitabh Bachchan tour, and he sang on stage in Sky Dome. So it was a huge thing. So my wife's family, let me be frank, they kind of cajoled my mama that, you know, they pampered him, saying that next time he is here with one of these stars, make sure you introduce us to him so that he can take us backstage to get their autographs. And incidentally, 94, I was back here in Maple Leaf Gardens with Shah Rukh Khan, when Shah Rukh Khan had just hit big time with Bazigar.
Right.
So as usual, my mama introduced my wife, her sisters, my mother-in-law now, and all of them, the entire family, Datta family, to me. And yes, I took them to backstage. I got them Shah Rukh Khan's, Akshay's, Shilpa Shetty, and everyone's autograph. And that's how they came to know me. And I stayed back in my mama's place for 2 more days, and one fine afternoon, Ria, my wife, she calls me and says, well, do you mind going out and seeing, looking around Toronto if I drive you around? No young guy is going to say no to a young girl calling up and say, can I take you around to the city? I said yes, as usual.
Sure.
She did, and she actually not only drove me on that particular day, she's still driving me crazy in my real life. And I've got a beautiful daughter. Therefore, it is a great feeling to come back to Toronto and remember those days when she took me to the Central Island on a boat. And that's how it all started. That's how it happened.
That's wonderful. Now, does Ria, I presume she loves music?
She does. I mean, you'll be surprised to know that.
Does she sing as well?
Yes, my in-laws, the Dattas in Toronto, they have a huge stock of Indian music. My wife, Ria, she was a radio jockey. She used to do, you know, jockeying in one of the radio stations here, playing Indian music.
I see.
And most of my Kishore Kumar, Lata Mangeshkar, Kishore Kumar, old stuff that I have in my house right now have been borrowed from her collection in Toronto. And they're very close to the Indian culture. And she is not a singer herself, though she did sing to impress me in those days, but she somehow is a very good listener, and she is my biggest critic. I would never walk home and get unnecessarily you know, pampered or flattered by my family people saying, oh wow, this was great. She is the biggest critic. There are so many songs which my audience feels good, think that I was good. She feels I could have done a better job.
Oh really?
So it's nice to have people, level-headed people around you without you know, family members just trying to, you know, put you on cloud 9.
Now private recordings are becoming very popular. Digital music has come into the field. Are you planning on doing private albums on your own and music videos?
Yeah, I have incidentally, I have just come out with my debut solo album. It is called Sochta Hoon. It was released by my idol as a personality, Bachchan Sahib, Amitabh Bachchan ji.
In fact, Abhishek was there as well, I believe.
Yes, all my co-singers, Udit Narayan, Abhijit Da, Sonu Nigam, Shan, they were all there in the party. And Bachchan Sahib agreed to do that for me. And since I started my career with him, he was very generous the day when he had come to launch my album. And that song, Sochta Hoon, was on #1 in Indian charts for quite some time. And it was a great experience. You know what happens in playback singing, as I said, it's a cut-out job.
Right.
But if you ask any actor or a singer, if you ask an actor what is your dream role, he'll probably talk about a role which he has not played. Similarly, as a singer, if you ask me what is my dream song, in most cases I will talk about a song which I have not sung.
Right.
So in film, you really don't have much to do as far as creating a song for yourself.
Right.
and therefore this solo albums or non-film albums where actually you get to record songs which you always wanted to sing. You can do a fair amount of experimentation. I mean, what I mean to say in word, you are a very integral part of the creative process. In a film song, you are given a ready-made song.
Right.
You just have to sing it well.
Right. You're an extremely eloquent communicator. Have you not been approached by people, because television is becoming one of the most powerful among the mass media, and with over 1 billion people in the Indian subcontinent, a combination of your accomplishments, your knowledge of music, and your eloquence in communication skills, who could be on television hosting a game show in music for that matter.
I would love to host a show for ATN here in Toronto.
It's a deal. Well, it's a deal. That's great. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side. But you took a very cautious approach. You got your basic education all done first, and you secured yourself, and you had a career first built as a banker. Then you decided to take a plunge and move into the film industry. How would you advise youngsters, who have not completed their education yet, but they want to jump into the film industry?
Well, to put it very honestly, I would say something, Shan Saab, that the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, if you are a good singer, if you are better than anyone that you're listening to in a cassette or a CD, Bombay is definitely going to make your dreams come true. That's for sure. Why? On the other side, if you think, what are we? What are artists? They're all commodities. The entrepreneurs, the people who are putting in money, they're selling that as selling the artists as commodities and getting money in return.
Right.
So if anyone sings better than me or better than anyone else who's at present under limelight in Bombay, we are going to be replaced in no time. Maybe if I'm a friend of yours, you'll probably keep me going for next 6 months, but ultimately you will throw me away and get the next one in. Because change is the only constant, which Shakespeare said, and I think it's the biggest truth in Bombay.
Fantastic. Babul, I want to wish you all the best.
Thanks so much,
May
sir.
God
I know
bless
that.
you and bring you lots of joy and prosperity and many, many awards.
Mr. Chandrasekar, I would really, on air, I would like to profusely thank you and congratulate you for having made such a huge setup in Toronto, in Canada, which is an alien country for us. And you have made such a huge base from which Indians can actually open the television set and see their good old India. They can see, they can hear Indian music, they can see their favorite artists, they can relate to them. And I think children and Indians who are away from their country, they do miss their country a lot. But I think ATN is giving a huge meal for them to sit down and devour all that Indian goodness, music, art, film, cinema, artists, politicians, whatever it is. And it's so nice to see successful Indians like you, sitting in an alien country and doing so well, making Indians like us proud of our community, of our own country. And just keep the good work going. If you were not here, Babul Supriyo never would have got a chance to speak to his audience. And no amount of congratulations is actually going to express the kind of happiness that I go through when I see Indians doing so well abroad and ruling in alien countries. So just keep that good work up.
Very sweet of you, and as I said, it's a pride and an honor for us to have outstanding artists like you come and visit this country. And so keep coming back more often.
I will.
Okay,
sure.
and I might
Thanks.
take you up on that special offer, by the way. You're going to do that special show with us very soon.
I will someday.
Yeah.